Oh, hello! Welcome to the offices of the Inland Packet and Navigation Company. I'm James. And today we have some questions that I thought we should probably answer. So, one of the things that I do all of this social media stuff for is so that people can ask questions, because you know what? It's actually a pretty small world. So, I received an email from someone over in Croatia, and I thought that I would do a video to answer those questions. As I said, we take those questions very seriously here at the Inland Packet and Navigation Company, and by golly, we're going to answer them. So, I received this message from this gentleman whose name will appear here. I apologize, I don't want to butcher it. English is my first and only language, but you raised some very good questions, and I think I have some pretty good answers for you. First of all, thank you for reading the blog and enjoying it. That's literally why I do it. It's nice to know that my work is getting out there. You know, that's really cool. And also that you would like to build a fat cat too. I really think that this is one of the hidden gems of Jim's design catalog, as you no doubt are aware, and that's important. So, my new heavier boom and the gooseneck that I used. I went to our local hardware, well, not really hardware store, but our lumber store, and I bought a very, very nice, very, very clean 4x4. Really nice. I couldn't pass it up. Cost me about $60 US at the time. But then we stored it for a while. I have a friend who works in a cabinet finishing, and we were kind of chatting, and I said I would like to get this milled into a boom, and so he did. And so now from that 4x4, I have a piece of it right here. This is a piece of my boom. This is the cutoff that we used because it was just slightly over length. It's still the same length that Jim specifies in the plans. However, it is larger. Here, I just measured this. This is 2 5/8 inches octagonal is what this is. Now, you can then plane this down and make it round. We just kept it as an octagon. So this is a solid piece. It's quite heavy. You could probably do this size in like bird's mouth or something and not sacrifice any strength. But I will say that the weight has been very, very nice. That weight keeps my sail down. It keeps it balanced, and it's really, really nice. The original scantlings that Jim put out for the boom, I think you could use them, but you're going to have to make sure that its strength is going to be relatively rigid, right? This isn't going to flex. As a matter of fact, I've never seen this boom flex. If my boom is flexing, we have a pretty big problem on our hands. But again, you can just see the shape of that there, and it's octagonal. And yeah, it's the same length that Jim specifies on the plans. It's solid. It's really, really nice. So if I need either a boom or a mast for the vessel, this would probably make a really nice mast, especially if it's set up in the tabernacle. And I'd like to talk about that tabernacle here in a little bit too. This would do very well for either. The one that I have on my boat is hollow. It has a square center, and it's multiple pieces that were then a sleeve of fiberglass from Duckworks were put over it, and that's how my mast was made. But although I am trying to experiment with a forestay, you really don't need it if you do it to plan. And I don't know if I mentioned that in the vlogs and the blogs, but I've gone back to simply picking the mast up, stepping it in the step, not using the tabernacle, and I haven't had any problems with that. But that'll be another post, and I'll explain my reasoning behind it and why. The big reason, of course, is because I now have a place to keep my boat on the hard, so I don't have to step and unstep the mast every time. And also, I don't think that it was quite set up right. So yeah, the tabernacle is definitely an opportunity. I have some posts about it. It's really, really handy if you're trailer sailing. But there are a few things I would change about it, and I will get to that later in the sailing season. So I actually have the boat to show what I would change about it. And also the fact that, at least for me, picking up and stepping the mast actually isn't very hard. I only have to do it once or twice a season. So if that's an option for you, I would keep it as built. For me anyway, it's not very heavy. And so, yeah. All right. So hopefully that answers that question. Next question is, what gooseneck did I use? So I will throw a photo of it over, well, there, I guess. From Duckworks. I just used their flat gooseneck because the face of my mast is flat. 4 bolts. And I used their 1/2 inch round tang And then I just drilled a hole in the bottom. Drilled a hole in the bottom of my boom, put the tang in there, and that's the gooseneck that I'm using. We have a couple problems with that. One is the mast will rotate. There is an incredible amount of rotational force being put at it because I've got settings at the end of the boom. Now, it doesn't seem to harm anything, but it is kind of annoying. I have tried everything to keep that from rotating. The typesetter and I have some plans for this upcoming season to take a look at it and hopefully fix that, which involves some welding and some fabrication to keep the mast from turning. But I don't notice any downsides really of it turning, other than it can make some things interesting with things on the side, because then the mast rotates and they're no longer on the side. I use the shock cord reefing that some other catboat people use, and it works really well, but when the mast rotates, they have a habit of slipping off. So, and on my sail, how much did my sail cost? Well, my sail, so what happened is originally I tried to get my sail through Duckworks, the 146 square foot sail, and I got out a bank loan for $1,200 to pay that cost. So my sail cost me $1,200. Originally, though, it wasn't through RSS. Now you could go direct to RSS if you need the information on what my sail actually is. I would be happy to provide that, because now they have that in their stock, basically, and they can make you another one. But for me, it cost $1,200. I don't know what it is direct from RSS. But I'm very happy with my sail, and it's doing well. So I look forward to using it again next season. Currently, and how she runs on under motor power. So it's interesting. So originally, she was equipped with a 3.5 horsepower Evinrude light wind engine. We tried it once. It didn't work. Now I'm using a 50-pound trolling motor in the motor well as designed, but I have to add a second piece to that motor well so that my Minnesota motor fits in there. And she handles really well under sail, actually. I don't know if you saw, but I put the skeg on, and that has helped a lot with her tracking. And under motor, she's great. One thing I've started doing is I use the motor and the rudder at the same time to really get the turns and things that I want. But if there's any wind involved, you're going to want at least 50 pounds if you're using an electric trolling motor. There's a lot of windage on this vessel, and depending if you're dealing with tides and things, you want to make sure that you have power for it. If you end up going with gas, which is also a fine thing, the motor well probably will not allow it to kick up, so it'll stay in the water. But she motors really, really well, actually. She tracks straight and true, and she's a joy to motor. One thing I would suggest is that you have a motor that does have a reverse gear, as opposed to having to rotate it 180 degrees, because the rear area is very hard to reach over, and so you want to try to do as little as you can with having to mess with the engine. Other than that, other things I would suggest is my boat has a gallows, which is very, very, very helpful when I have the sail down or when I'm working with it. So thank you so much for your questions. I hope these answered them for you. Other things that are happening, really quickly to update everything else. So the Bobcat got some paint and got put away for the season. The sail arrived from Port Townsend, and it was worked on by the gentleman who literally wrote the book on traditional sail making. And so we got that back. That's sitting right over there, as a matter of fact. So hopefully the Bobcat's getting done this year. So that was really, really cool. Also, I had this painting done of it. I will provide a link to the artist down below if you would like your own painting of your sailboat. But now I have custom artwork of my sailboat, and I'm very, very happy with it. So, this is the holiday season here. So happy holidays to all of you out there, and I hope that you get some good sailing in, and that your next sailing season is lovely. So, on behalf of all of us here at the Inland Packet and Navigation Company, the Catboat Crew,